Good morning, everybody. This is Megan, and today I am sharing with you the first of a series of videos on classroom productivity, classroom efficiency, and how we can help ourselves use our time better and help our students use their time better. So one thing I wanted to talk about is by this time of the year, as we're looking at students' backpacks, if we're a student at their lockers, this is a lot of what we are seeing, that there's papers everywhere, things are disorganized, and what the question comes down to is when we tell the kids it's time to study or get your materials together or review, can they really find what they're supposed to be looking for? Can they find their notes? The idea being that regardless of whether or not it's an accordion, a folder, a spiral, a backpack, or the iPad, we need to help students develop systems to organize their notes. Just because they are using notes and pages in Goodreader doesn't automatically make things organized. Those iPads can be as difficult to find important items as the backpacks and accordions have been. So what I have found that is the kids, it's almost impossible for them to find the materials they need on a nightly basis to study. And I know we've also heard from a parent point of view, they struggle as well looking for the materials that their kids need. So as we're moving into, as we've just started trimester 3, I know it's not the beginning of the year, but it's an important start date to maybe look at some new habits. And one thing that we can start to apply is the idea is how do we help children organize their digital materials? How do we get new habits? How do we help them become more efficient? And so one idea is that as Benjamin Franklin once said, a place for everything and everything in its place. We need to help the children become productive with the iPad and use tools that are efficient. So the tool that I'm going to recommend today is, let's take a peek at this. Looking at this visual, do you think your students would be able to find their notes now? If we implement something like Evernote, these notebooks can support and increase student organization, student confidence, because they are coming into class prepared. They know how to find the materials that they were looking for, and everything just all of a sudden, there is a place for everything and everything is in its place. So my recommendation, as if you have some time and you're looking to get some effective systems in place, is start to apply Evernote to your classroom materials, your instruction, and helping the children become more efficient, because that will consequently help our classroom time become more efficient. So here's one thing that you can do with your homerooms. Everybody has the Evernote app on their iPads. I would recommend the children starting an account with their Google credentials. It's not one of the single login kind of suite of apps like Google for Education, but I would recommend having the kids log in with their school ID and then also use their school password, their SD74 number, simply because then if kids forget or we need to get in, it's a number that we have access to, and then the kids aren't locked out. So just take a minute with your homeroom, if have everybody log in with their Google email, their SD74 password, and then they would create an account. So when I tried this with my kids, when you open up Evernote for the first time, it's going to bring you through a tour. I would recommend just letting the kids play. Let them explore it, because I think their hands-on learning with the app is going to be more effective than us telling them what to do. So when they open it up for the first time, they're going to take a tour, and I would plan for the time for them to explore and to play. Also, sometimes what I have found is maybe they're rushing through it the first time, and then they start to realize that they really are using it more often, but they have forgotten some of the tips about the tour. One workaround that I have found is that if you actually delete the app and then apply it again, and then they log in for the first time, the tour starts up again. So it's a workaround if you want to check out the tour again, if there's elements of it that you need to understand. But let the kids play, let them explore. They're going to learn more than we can teach them. So let's look at what Evernote has to offer as far as classroom efficiency. The first thing you're going to do is have students set up notebooks. I know that I also set up notebooks for myself as I'm going into classrooms, as I'm taking notes, as I'm observing. So it's efficient note taking for myself. So they work just like paper notebooks. Students create one for every class. I also recommend some kids to make their own assignment notebooks. If they're struggling with finding tools on Schoology, they can set up a assignment notebook in Evernote. It has lots of options, bullet lists, checkbox lists. Kids can use however it's working, but also encourage them to use it personally. Right? Is there's poetry? Is it a journal? Collect your fantasy baseball stats. Right? Learn to start using some tools online to affect productivity. So what happens then as far as our classroom instruction? I know I spend a lot of time reminding kids this is important. Write this down. Take something out. Start taking some notes. I see Evernote as a tool to make this task of being a student a little bit more efficient. If we start from the beginning of the school year, beginning of this trimester, and start cueing kids in, this is an area that we need to model for them. They don't have natural note-taking skills at this point, but it is something that the high school will be expecting. So I think we can cue them to help them know when to take notes. Write this down. This is important. Take a screenshot of the bell ringer. Take a screenshot of the exit slip. And then all of those materials can be uploaded and added to this subject notebook. Basically, anything you would write in a spiral, you should tell them to create a new note. I would also make sure that you set up a classroom system as far as labeling their notes. I think it's important to have the topic as well as the date. If kids are not sorting them correctly or putting them in the right notebooks, you can always use the search tool within Evernote to find it and then organize their materials that they need. The other thing that makes Evernote just useful across the board in sort of a interdisciplinary way is that it also provides a pen tool. Sometimes, whether it be math class or quick graphic organizers, not everything lends itself to something you can do with a keyboard. So the pen allows the children to draw directly into a note. So math problems, brainstorming, graphic organizers, the pen allows people to quickly draw, doodle, design, anything that they might need that when a keyboard is not appropriate. And then even, take it into, so here's, I've used it in math, setting up these functions, and then in language arts, we've also used it with graphic organizers. So kids can move between the pen and the keyboard very efficiently. You can start with a graphic organizer, make a quick Venn diagram, make a T-chart, have them work in peers or groups and share, and then move directly into writing the essay or adding the notes. So it makes the flexibility between the keyboarding and the pen allows Evernote to be effective in all areas. So the one point that I think teachers are going to find useful most of the time is if you look in any of your students' Goodreader or Notability apps right now, I think you would find just a random list of PDFs that they have opened throughout the school year. There's no system to it. There's no organization. They can't find the materials they need to study or prepare. So what I recommend is that you can move any of your worksheets or notes from any PDF annotating app that you use, and you can upload that or move that into Evernote. So they have all of their language arts materials in their language arts notebook. They have all their math materials in their math notebook. And everything is there. Like I said, they could upload the PDFs, they could take pictures of the board, and then all those materials are in one place. So it's a rather easy, the kids could probably figure this out on their own, but basically you use the open-end feature to move documents to Evernote. So just as we use the open-end feature for children to submit their work from Goodreader into Schoology, it might be something worthwhile to start teaching them. It's a two-step process. So once you open it in Schoology and submit your work, and then you just open it in a second time, add it to Evernote, and then they have those materials in their Evernote notebooks to do their studying. So this is just something that could add to our efficiency instead of helping the kids track down missing work. What do you study? Where are the worksheets? All those materials are in one place and ready to be found. So Basically, Evernote can be a solution for organizing all of your digital files. Again, if a child struggled with organization with accordions and backpacks, they're going to struggle with organization with the iPads. So Evernote gives them a tool to have the materials that they need for class. It gives them a tool to be prepared for class, so you don't have the kids running back and forth to lockers or spending time looking, or you have to stop instruction to help them find. Ideally, everything they need for that class could be found in that digital notebook. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please send me an email or find me in the hallway. I would love to help you out. Thank you so much.